I can feel it, man. The tides are changing. This is finally the year that I beat you in Game 7.
You'd be breaking a lot of traditions if you were to do that.
Like what?
It's been 20 years since you won a Game 7 in a playoff series.
Well, you know, times change. In an ever-expanding universe, everything happens at least once.
Such as the Bruins going 100 years without losing a playoff series to the Leafs?
No.
Yeah, but, well, by your logic, it could.
No, I get that, but this isn't that.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure.
How can you be sure?
Because I am. I am not losing to you for 100 years.
Oh, so you'll lose to me for 60 years, but 100 is too much.
60 was too much. Way too much.
Then do something about it.
I'm trying.
Okay, but don't try too hard, because we have 40 more years of this. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That is not a dub. You didn't think it'd be that easy, right? No, of course not. This has to be challenging, because that's the kind of year the Bruins are having. Challenging moments. It's part of it. Now, did the Bruins kind of have this game and let it get away from them? Sure. Did it very much remind you of the Bruins team that we saw from January to March? Unfortunately, but it's a tied series. We've probably got 5 more games to go. Obviously devastated, obviously very frustrated, obviously want to have all those emotions. But I also get to sit here and go, could be worse. We could be down 2-0, right? We could be facing a team that we feel like we have no shot against. There's all sorts of things that could be worse. I am mostly happy with how the Bruins have performed up to this point. The last period and a half, you got me. There's so much I want to talk about all at once, and the brain's not doing it. I have the Canes game up right now. There's like 6 minutes left. 4:20 left. There's a couple minutes left of that, but they just showed a highlight of Stone scoring the first goal for the Vegas Golden Knights in their first round series. No shame over there in Vegas. Why would they? It's Vegas. Not exactly known for their shame. The Bruins have wasted an opportunity. You had a lead almost a lead going into the third period. You probably should have had one, honestly. You are playing a team that once again is missing their best secondary scorer, which is Nylander. Nylander was out again. When that was announced, I was kind of like, you really should win this one. You're going to probably need to win this one. Nope. That's fine. The goalie, they go back to Samsonov, who was really good. And I'm going to say this at the beginning of the video because people love hearing it. Like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. I'm also going to say thank you to the high-quality inspectors. You guys are dope AF. I'm also going to say I'm fine with Ullmark starting this game. The Boston Bruins kept the same lines, except for they switched Grizz and Lindholm, so Grizz is now up with Mac. Lindholm is down with Carlo. That's the same switch that happened like 6 minutes into game 1, so it wasn't really a change. And then Ullmark starts instead of Swayman. They went back to the rotation. Ullmark not only had been the better goalie through the last 2 months of the season, making a lot of us think that he was going to get game 1 even though Swayman's had success against the Leafs, but they made it pretty clear by starting Swayman game 1 that the rotation mattered to them. Otherwise, you just go with Ullmark, who had been the better goalie by a mile through 2 months. So we knew. They played some games about it, but we all kind of figured we were going with the rotation. And now everyone's going to bitcher. What was I trying to say there? Bicker and bitch about it for the next 48 hours. And that's the fun of it. That's the fun of being a hockey fan. We get to be annoyed about that stuff. But it's not like you can't see why they did it. And you know how hard of a call that is? A lot of us are really just flippantly like, you should have just done this. It's a really difficult call to make because the rotation got you here. because if you stick with Swayman and he has a rough game, Toronto beats him, and then you switch to Ullmark, the moral victory on top of the literal victory you just gave the Leafs is massive. Now you go back to Swayman in game 3, and if he's stellar once again, now you start to have a different conversation. Now you really need to. Because now the Leafs are like, can we get Ullmark back? Can we play him again? Ullmark, by the way, who was awesome, who was really, really good. Yeah, sure. That second goal, you can make an excuse or two about it. It's a great shot, though. I can't lose sleep over that decision because I get it. I think that's the thing, is I get it. I get why they made it, and it made sense. It wasn't egregious, such as playing an injured Ullmark for 6 games straight and then starting Swayman in game 7. That's egregious. I'm spending too much time on this. Let's talk about other things, such as, that's it, actually. We're going to talk about the game. Puck drops! High quality girlfriend is high quality fiance is listening to Taylor Swift, and I'm pretty sure I just screamed in the middle of her listening session. She's a big Swiftie, makes me want to die inside a little bit, but hey, I got you guys. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to you guys while she listens to Taylor Swift. You guys are my Taylor Swift. Can you tell I'm a little manic right now? I'm trying to figure out the emotions of a Game 2 loss to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Is this the first Leafs series since starting this channel? It feels like it. Feels like I handled the Capitals series pretty well because we won. And the Islanders series, that was tough, but we survived. Obviously, Canes. The Panthers. I said puck drops already, right? Yeah, let's talk about this. 10:08 left of the first period. And the Bruins look good again, by the way. They do. They're getting outshot immediately, but we know we're not going to take more shots than the other team. That's not how this works. But Lauko gets in on Samsonov on a dribbling puck that Samsonov covers, and Lauko doesn't even give him a snow bath. He just comes over and he's like, hey man, here's my dangalang. It's right in front of your face. That's all he's doing. That seems appropriate to me. Not appropriate around kids, but appropriate to an NHL goalie. Probably should cut that. I'm not gonna. So he's just dangalanging over there. And McCabe comes through with his wood and cross-checks him in the back. Why not? And so we're going to go to the power play because McCabe's just like, the Leafs can't help themselves. If the Bruins never gave the Leafs life in this game, it feels like it would have ended very similar to game 1. So we're going to go to the power play. And Marchand is going to force a face-off win out of this, which looked like it was going to be a face-off loss, but his hustle was there. And they cycle the puck to Coyle on the right side, who flubs a shot. And it looks like they're going to get an easy clear. And oh my, the Canes just tied it, 2:15 left. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. No, here's the problem. Aho, get your own nickname. Here's my problem with this. Knuckle Puck, my closest friend, is a big Canes fan. He's supposed to be suffering with me tonight. He doesn't get to do this. No, he doesn't get to just win tonight, come back from 3 down. That's not fair. Go Islanders. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah, so we're on the power play. Face-off win. Coyle flubs a shot. DeBrusk's hustle prevents an easy clear here and allows the Bruins to get set up once again. And it's going to go right back to the right circle where DeBrusk draws some more attention because he pivots much like he did in game 1 and looks like he's about to shoot. Defense collapses. He quickly pushes this down to Marchand, who's standing to the left of Samsonov, or the right, which depends which way you're looking at it. But if Samsonov's here, he's to his left. Marchand is then going to whip the puck across the... Holy shit, they scored again like 9 seconds later. Oh, I got to call him. All right, we're going to pause this. Where was I? Yeah, so, right side, Marchand to Geeky. Geeky, from the opposite side, is going to miss the net by about 4 feet. But it's going to go off the back of Samsonov and in. They don't ask how. They ask how many. That's a 1-0 lead power play goal. The power play is fixed until it isn't. 14 seconds later, the first reminder that the Bruins have reverted. Lindholm tries to clear the puck, and it takes a funky bounce off the boards, puts the puck awkwardly on Carlos' stick in the slot, who is immediately disturbed by Bertuzzi, who was a shit disturber tonight, across the board. Bumping the puck to Matthews, who fires from the slot, post and out. But the post and out ends up going right into the back of Ullmark, and it bounces over to Domi, who gets to smack it in for a freebie. It's 1-1, 14 seconds after we had taken the lead. Not great. Can't blame Ullmark for a post and out shot that just goes off his back. I'm hardly going to blame him for that one. 7:31 left. Beecher is going to go for hooking. We're going to go to the penalty kill. We kill it. And with 7.8 seconds left of the period, Geekie wins a faceoff in the right circle. Nice choice by Monty getting Geekie out there thinking he could win that one. Pasta with the hustle forces this puck to the right point for McAvoy, and then sprints to the opposite side of the ice. But a couple of Leafs defenders get tangled up with each other, allowing Pastrnak to get over there basically by himself. McAvoy quickly bumps his puck down to Zacha, who has a guy draped all over him, but goes no-look behind the back pass across the slot to Pasta, who gets to beat Samsonov blocker side with less than 10 seconds left on the clock. It's a 2-1 lead going into the second period, and you feel great. And you have sucked the life out of the Toronto Maple Leafs. We start the second period. We look great. We look great! And then what happens? 7:59 left. It's been a great period! But too many men on the ice on the Bruins. I don't care what the semantics are about this one. Well, they didn't have the puck. Well, they had 6 guys lining up to stop a neutral zone advance. They call it. That's the call. And we kill that. But that is the moment that all of a sudden the Leafs are getting work. I mean, we went almost 12 minutes this period, and the Bruins looked great. They certainly didn't look like they were about to give anything up. 1-goal lead. Pouring it on, chances galore, and the Bruins had their chances. You can't blame anyone but the Bruins for this loss. Absolutely not. Couldn't finish the chances. But so with 5:53 left, the Leafs are getting the bounces. They are. That's clear. Because another weird bounce off the wall puts Janmark in front of Ullmark, and Ole's head is turned. So this looks like a freebie. But somehow, Ullmark is able to snap the glove up and get this so late that they have to review it thinking that it was in the net while it was in his glove. That's how late he made that save. But he made the save, and it was brilliant. And then with 3:08 left, Grizz is going to go for interference. We're going to get a penalty kill once again. And 5 seconds into this penalty kill, Marner is going to launch from the top of the slot. It gets saved, but it bounces up high. Bertuzzi smacks it into the net, and it's 2-2. How the hell the refs didn't wave this off immediately? It's reviewed. It's a high stick by a mile. By a literal mile. Don't look up the definition of mile. By a literal mile. So they're going to waive it. It's still 2-1. We're going to move on. And with 5 minutes left of this period, by the way, Peake disappeared from the bench. He blocked a shot at one point. I don't know exactly what the play was, but he's no longer with us and would not return this game, which feels pretty massive. 1:34 left. The penalty kill has been solid. We're still killing off that previous penalty. But the Leafs get set up in the zone. And again, this is going to go to Matthews first. And from the right point, he sends a pretty soft pass into the high slot, where it looks like DeBrusk is going to get an easy clear. But Yarncroc is there to lift the stick of DeBrusk. Now that I said that out loud, I think I said Janmark earlier when it should have been Yarncroc. I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure you're going to listen to this point and realize the mistake. He lifts DeBrusk's stick perfectly, allowing the puck to continue to skitter across all the way to Tavares. And Shattenkirk, who's on the penalty kill in place of Peake, I think he was just the only guy with legs underneath him at this point to send out for this penalty kill. He doesn't take up a lot of space and doesn't attack Tavares quickly enough. He's got a freebie at blocker side, and boy does he bury it. It's 2-2. Again, that's the only save I can even look at Ullmark and be like, maybe you want that one, kind of getting screened by your own defender, whatever. It is what it is. We're going to the third period tied. Going to the third period tied. This has to be your best period of the game. Like, you gave life back to the Leafs by taking an asinine too many men call, which they didn't even score on. But since that point, they were pouring it on. And then 3:33 in, Reeves is going to go for holding, and Bruins are going to go for too many men again. Because Geekie was clearly being held and was pulled over by Reeves to the bench for the Leafs. And then it's pretty clear to me that Geekie was preventing Reeves purposefully from getting into his bench. Yes, we can do the chicken and egg discussion of what happened first. Yes, it's pretty insane to be like, hey, holding on Reeves, but you're still going to call too many men on us when the guy couldn't get off the ice. We did still send a player out with our guy nowhere really near the bench. I don't like the call. I kind of get it, though. I'm not happy about it, but I kind of get it. We're going to go to 4v4. Nothing happens during it. 13 minutes left. The Bruins have been sloppy in their zone. Gives Toronto another chance. And Yarncroc, blast from the slot, is saved, but it bounces directly out to Robertson. And just to point out how great Ullmark was, he somehow gets the glove on this one too. Oh, it's wide open. And he goes, thank you for the hot dog. And just shabs it. Pretty good, is all I'm saying. Ullmark was pretty good. He kept us in this one, when maybe we didn't belong in it in moments. Particularly second period and on. 7:55 left. I had looked into this. We were on a 7-minute streak of not having a shot on net. It would go to 8.5 minutes total. I mean, third period, tie game, game 2 of the playoffs. You can't go 8.5 minutes without a shot on net. Come on. Like, what are we doing? That's just not good enough. And I will point out, the top 6, this is a game note, but I'm just going to say it now. The top 6, after Tavares scored to tie the game, they get caved. Completely caved. Just couldn't get anything going, and the top 6 of the Leafs were just feasting. It's exactly what we talked about. And the depth couldn't make up for it. And the defense started making mistakes, and that's where we really got in trouble. Because with 7:55 left, Toronto, they're buzzing, but they're going to get their first lead of the series. As Domi, actually, that might be the first lead of the season against us that the Leafs just got. I think that's correct. Domi, from his own zone, just skies it. Just airs it out. And it's going to land somewhere around the blue line of our zone. And McAvoy and Matthews are jostling right there. And instead of McAvoy taking 2 strides back just to make sure he keeps Matthews in front of him, he kind of pivots on him. So Matthews leaps up, grabs the puck, and can just turn and goes full breakaway mode, inside-outside roof it on Ullmark. It's 3-2. McAvoy, you are our best player, debatably. You're not. Pasta is. But your best players have to be your best players. This was another game note. And McAvoy, so far in this series, I just don't think he has been. But you can't allow that. You go one-on-one with their best guy. I don't care, man. Shove him. Hit him. Something. You can't let him just blow past you. You can't allow that. You are our best defenseman. And if you're losing your battle to Matthews, the series ends, man. Now, of course, that's one play. It's hardly fair of me to be like, the series is over, the sky is falling. But that was such an egregiously bad play that shows that the Bruins' mental in the third period wasn't there and wasn't good enough. By any means, it wasn't good enough. Toronto gets to steal home ice advantage because the Bruins just completely shit the bed in the third period. And that's frustrating to watch. Is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. One play in game 3 is all it takes to restore momentum to us. That's it. Series ain't over, but they got to be better. They got to be better than that. The best players have to be better than that. 6:03 left. Coyle and Bertuzzi are going to go for roughing. I don't understand this play at all. The whistle blows everything dead as Lyubushkin goes high on Coyle. Gets a stick right in his face. And Coyle doesn't even retaliate. He shoves him. But no stick work, doesn't go for his face, anything. And Lyubushkin keeps going after him. And then after the whistle's blown, Bertuzzi runs up from behind and two-hand slashes Marchand on the back of the legs. So somehow Bertuzzi and Coyle are both going to go for roughing. And Lyubushkin's going to go for, what do they actually call him for? Oh, it looks like they changed it up. So Bertuzzi's going to go for slashing. It wasn't the way it was called on the ice. Lyubushkin's going to go for roughing. Coyle's going to go for roughing. Insane. I don't even care about like the 5-on-3 so much as like, what are we doing? What is this call? What? I'm not blaming the refs even a little bit for this result. The Bruins did this to themselves. But boy, that was a tough moment. That was a tough pill to swallow right there. But we still have the power play. And the power play was awful. It was horrible. Right when you couldn't afford it to be. And that's the end of your game. That's it. And the game notes are simple. Your best players have to be your best players. They weren't in this game. And Pasternak had the one big goal. But quite frankly, Pastrnak has not been able to free himself up against the top dogs of the Leafs, and it's only going to get worse because they get second change for the majority of the games going forward, at least for the next 2. Pasta has to find a way to be more effective. And he's throwing the body, he's affecting the game in other areas, but if he's not on the goal sheet, I mean, that's what Pasta's there for. So I think our best players have to find another level. They really have to. Marchand was pretty solid tonight, I think. The Peak injury looms large because he was a really steadying force for the third pair, and if he's out for an extended amount of time, this gets real scary for us. Because you've got Shattenkirk, who we know can be a bit of a defensive liability, and Wotherspoon. And Wotherspoon, you would have preferred to come in for Grizz at some point because Grizz has been drowning. The back end's been rough, man. And Carlo looks great, in my opinion. And McAvoy is still really, really good. I think he needs to find another gear. That's not really fair because, like, he's already better than Carlo. But again, we're going to hold these guys to a higher standard. Lindholm has to stop turning the damn puck over so goddamn much. Whoa, relax. Whoa, the GD. Whoa. But seriously, Lindholm, dude, what's with these blind passes up the walls just to give the puck back over and over in the neutral zone? Can we cut that crap out, please? Thanks. Shattenkirk's been good. You do want to keep him in the lineup, for the most part. Do you go Lohrei? Do you bring him in? No, you go Wotherspoon for Peak. And then you do look at Lohrei to go in for Grizz because Grizz has been so bad. But Lohrei, a lot of you want to ignore the fact that the dude was really bad defensively for huge stretches when he was up. And it wasn't even just like, oh, he's out of position once in a while. Like, he would get stuck in the neutral zone. And the amount of shifts that he had that resulted in odd man rushes the other way because he made a bad pinch or he made a bad, like, hold on the blue line, it happened frequently. And I know people like Lohrei and you want to be excited about the young guy, and I'm with you because he's going to be great someday, but this is a tough place to just throw him in. I don't think that's the best move. Grizz is probably going to stay in the lineup, and Wotherspoon's going to take over for Peak. I think that's a little bit of a downgrade. That's tough. And then lastly, I already said this, I don't blame Monty for the switch for the goaltenders. And I think you would all do yourself a little favor of just going, I can see why he did it, and leave it at that. You don't have to be right about this. Because A, no one's really going to believe you when you're like, I knew the whole time that this would be the result. And B, Omark looked awesome. Like, he looked awesome. He made so many huge saves in that game. I can't sit here and be like, Omark lost us the game, not having Swayman. The team would have played differently in front of Swayman. I don't know, man. That seems like a lot of maybes and buts, ifs, shoulds, coulds, woulds. That's not going to do it for me. Not for this guy. I feel good. A 1-1 series going into game 3. Pivotal game 3. I'll probably wear, I don't know, maybe a DeBrusque jersey. No, that's a game 5 jersey. Moog? Go Bees. Go Bees! And once again, it's time to give shout-outs to those who are keeping the lights on for this channel. We gotta shout out our top line tier to start. Let's start with Erica Poli, Colin Nolan, Len Krusevich, The Bugman, Brock Nope, Hans Slomo, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Just Aaron, Darren Woodbury, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. You guys and gals are absolute studs. But we can't mention the studs without mentioning the Stallions, our all-star tier, high-quality inspectors, John Kirk, Jacob Pratt, Heil E. Coyote, Adam Ella, Bruin Smash, Tupton D. Tashi, Joel, Abraxion, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. I can't say thank you enough. I appreciate all the support. You're absolute legends, stallions, whatever great adjective we can work in here. Thank you, everyone, from the depths of my heart, and go Bees!